Shawty's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 na.
When it comes to anime, unlike a lot of people on the internet, I happen to not give a shit about it. My problem with most anime is that it's usually one of two things. There's outliers, of course, and there's a few outliers I like, but they're usually one of two things. Ultimate power fantasy. Watch as their power gets even more and more extreme. Watch as they basically have unlimited power, and just when you think they have unlimited power, they actually don't. They don't have unlimited power. They have even more power. Here's a new form, and it just gets very repetitive, and I don't want to watch it because it's boring as shit. And then you have basically porn, but they want to air it on TV, so there's no sex. They just show like risque bits, and so it's basically up to the point where, you know, if you're gonna tease me this much, I might as well watch actual porn. Like, what's the fucking point? I used to watch those animes a lot, especially this one, and a problem with those animes is that most of the time they really are degrading to women. Women are rather big bimbo idiots most of the time, or they're overly sensitive and mean to the main character that only accidentally got crotch in his face. I mean, and yet again, if I'm going to watch a show that's trying very hard to balance almost being porn without actually being porn, I'd rather watch porn in that point. And I want to make it clear, I don't hate all anime. I do have anime I like Full Metal Alchemist. It was one of the first animes I've ever seen, and it was really good. I constantly go back to it, and I think, wow, this is really good. Sure, it's a bit harder to watch the English dub nowadays, considering you know what, and I'm not going to get into the specifics too, but yeah, that was pretty good. And then there's shows like My Hero Academia that are really good, really well written, and mostly take what you would think would be one of those power fantasy shows and actually makes it more well written. It makes it where at first they don't really have powers at all. Then they get powers, but they got to learn how to use them correctly. And when they do, there's some cost, some sacrifice, and that's really fucking good. And My Hero Academia, that was a show I was really into. But I kind of stopped watching around the time they started sexualizing the teenagers in the show. Yeah, that makes me very uncomfortable. Another example of why I have a hard time trusting anime is a show like Dragon Maid. It starts off really cute, and it's mostly about characters and their antics, and I thought, wow, that's really good. And sure, there's little peeps of perv pandering, but they don't really ruin the show. And then the perv pandering starts to ruin the show. And like there's this whole scene in Dragon Maid where these people that look like 4-year-olds, technically one is a dragon that's over like 1,000 years old, still looks like a child, and the other one is just a fucking child, and they get uncomfortably close to each other, and it's like, ew! Like, I don't want to throw the accusation of pedophilia. Actually, scratch that. This kind of feels like pedophilia. Like, can we get the internet history of the guy who's been making these scenes? Because I have a feeling, they got inspiration from somewhere, and it's not a good place. Oh, if you thought that, that character pairing wasn't exactly creepy and like, oh, it's not that creepy. There's this one character pairing, this little boy and this big-breasted fucking anime girl, and that's even more creepy because they get also weirdly close to each other, and the little boy character is like, oh no, the woman's trying to seduce me. I'm like, ew, what the fuck are you doing that? Why? It's not even like, oh, making fun of pedophilia. It's like, oh man, it's like if you made a pedophilia joke and you try to give it a sexy vibe to it, and that just doesn't work. It just comes off as pedophilia. Oh, and you're gonna fucking flip when you find out what fucking name they decided to give to this character. You know, the character that's getting really creepily close to the woman with big breasts all the times and feels like he's being sexually pressured. His name is Shota. Now, this next one could be a bit of a stretch, but, well, I don't really know how and Japanese names translates to American names, so I could be, you know, misunderstanding something, but, this character's name, Shota, is one letter away from Shota. Now, you might be asking, what's Shota? Well, remember my most popular video, lollies? Imagine that, but gender bent. I know, that's disturbing, isn't it? This character's name, at least English-wise, is one letter away from being the name of child porn. I hate Dragon Maid. And I want to make it clear, there is one more anime I've seen recently that's really fucking good, and I recommend anyone to watch it because it's not like most bad anime. And I would talk about it in this video explaining why it's not bad, but really, we should get on to the point of the actual video. So just remember, in the future, I will make a video on Beastars. And I went through this whole tangent to pretty much explain that I don't hate anime. I really don't. Besides, you can't really hate anime altogether because it's not like a genre, it's a media. It's a form of making shows. You know what? I think it might have been a bad idea to go on a whole tangent about how I don't hate anime. I just hate most of them, so I can look like I'm not biased against anime. Well, it's too late now. I'm not just gonna make all that work go away. And to be fair, part of that tangent does involve what we're talking about today. Now, we're almost 7 minutes into the video, and I can finally talk about the reason I made the video, the actual topic of the video. And I swear to God, if the topic of the video ends up, you know, taking up less space than my little tangent, I'm gonna die a little inside. So, this is Uzaki-chan. She's in a new, recently announced anime. Like most animes are based on mangas, but that's not important. What's important is that her character design has caused a lot of struggles and a lot of fighting. And you might be wondering why, because you might be thinking, you know, there's nothing really wrong with this. It's just a cute little girl, maybe a cute little boy. I don't see what the big ideal is. What's there to get mad about at this character? Okay. What the fuck? Now, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I very much do think this whole character design is intentionally trying to go for a, oh yeah, people like big busts, and they also like them young. So let's combine those two things together to make a character like this. And just in case, you know, that design wasn't jarring enough, here's a better picture of it. Yeah, that's very jarring and weird looking and kind of creepy. So here's a thing that's kind of commonplace in the anime fandom. Most of the time when teenagers or minors are sexualized, it doesn't come off as creepy to the anime fans because they're mostly used to it. They've seen it so many times that they just stopped caring a long time ago, or maybe they don't care because, oh, I don't want to care about things. I don't care that it's creepy to sexualize a teenager. I just want to watch my show, man. And of course, when you're an outsider like me, or even, you know, someone that used to be an anime fan, but got out of it due to it being, well, not your thing, because of explicitly shit like this, then you can understand that this kind of shit is very creepy to the normal person. To an anime fan, not so much. Now, that itself could be a whole discussion, a whole little video itself, but alas, we're not at the true meat of the whole situation. We have only went skin deep. So, here's a thing that Twitter does oh so rarely, which I wish they would do so much more because it's always so funny. You see, they'll look at the design that's total dog shit, like this one in particular, and they'll go like, you know what I ought to do? I ought to draw it well. You see, a lot of people were inspired to take this shitty, perv-pandering design and make it look good. And I love when they do this. Not only because you get some really good art, some really solid art, and you get some really, good redesigns of characters. No. You also get a lot of whiny, pissy little bitches. This shit ruined my morning! My anime character with the big puppies! They changed it! Oh! If you look up uzaki-chan on Twitter, you'll find plenty of upset, whiny assholes going on about how their favorite character has been redesigned. And basically, what they're pretty much bitching about is fair criticism. They kind of want to go out of their way to ignore the fact that not everyone's going to like the fact that this person with the head of a child has the breasts of a not child. Another stupid argument they're making is, oh, these people are fine with big mouth, but they're against this. And my response to that is, name me one person that actually likes big mouth. Go ahead, do it. I bet you can't. I bet you can't find a single person that actually fucking likes the show. Even more, I doubt you would find someone that likes big mouth and hates the design of that character. Trust me, all of these examples of supposedly saying, oh, they think this, but they can't actually show anyone thinking this. It is so goddamn fucking funny to see all of these little piss boys get so upset that their waifu of the week is being attacked. Congratulations, anime fandom. Now you look even more pathetic than Congrats, anime fandom. You reminded everyone you're pathetic. Now, I want to make it clear, just like anime itself, not all anime fans are bad. There's just a good portion of them that are really creepy and kind of give me a pedophile vibe. If you want to support me and my content, then you should go on Patreon and become a patron. I also have a Discord group where you can talk with me and other fans. You can also follow me on Twitter. Ko-Fi is also available if you want to make quick and easy one-time donations. Riddle Lightning is also the creator of the Deviant Crow OC, so go follow him and possibly get a commission. I also have a Tumblr and an Instagram, but note, I don't use them much. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe!
She's running through my mind all day. Hey, Charlie's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like